peace, tranquility, and like letting your body work through what it needs to, and, you know, trying to figure out how to work best with your body and science, but also just get me to the damn finish line. Just last week, we got the green light from Dr. Trina, my oncologist at Memorial Sloan Kettering, that we can start a family. And it just feels so overwhelming and exciting that we're starting this process. We got a long road ahead of us. We have tons of doctor's appointments. We've decided that we're going to move forward with using the embryos that we had frozen before I started my cancer treatment. I've started taking prenatal vitamins. I'm officially off of all of my cancer meds, well, my only cancer med. I'm really excited for whatever's to come and to maybe one day meet a little one, hopefully in the next year. So very excited. Okay, I got my period today, which is good news, because I was concerned that my cycle would not go back to normal, or wouldn't be normal after stopping tamoxifen. But this is my first period post rolling off tamoxifen, and just got it now, right on schedule. So we will pray to the period goddesses that I go back to a 28-day cycle as opposed to my normal 41-day cycle while on tamoxifen. See that arm? Stick it right here. I'm not gonna lie. That's okay. You tell me when to do my fist thing. Okay, you hold that fist like you need it. Breathe in deeply. Oh my God, you're such a good stick. I'm coming to you forever. Open your fist, let it flow. Yesterday, I had blood work done at Columbia Fertility just to make sure everything was on the up and up. And I got my results back this morning. Everything seems fine. But what I learned something new, actually, that normal thyroid levels are between a 0 and a 5 for like a normal healthy person. And mine yesterday were at a 3.2. So for a normal person not trying to conceive, I'd be totally fine, well within the normal range. But what my nurse told me at Columbia Fertility was that when you're trying to conceive, we usually want the thyroid number, the TSH number, I believe it is, TSH maybe, to be under 2.5. So I am on my way to CVS now to pick up a medication to help get that number under 2.5. So learn something new every day. So I just finished the Saline ultrasound. I had the most amazing doctor who walked me through every step of it and prepared me. So I'm feeling much better now. The actual procedure wasn't terrible. It was a little crampy. The after was when it got like really intense and really crampy. So it's over now. I'm feeling a lot better. They told me to just stay here, relax, so they can monitor my heart rate, make sure that everything looks good. So happy that that's done. And then hopefully next step will be a transfer. One of the things I like to do is really focus on a little bit of reflection and calmness after these appointments, because they can be a little stressful. Getting poked and prodded in a million different ways, and a million times throughout the week. So my doctor's office is actually in Columbus Circle, which is right next to Central Park. So I like to come down here. I like to sit in front of the lake after my appointments. I usually get a Starbucks tea and maybe a pumpkin loaf or a different pastry, and just sit and think and reflect and kind of savor this moment, these moments, because all the stress and chaos can really weigh on you. And I think that's a side of this whole process that we really don't talk about as much. We're at this place where we can help women, get pregnant, and that is an amazing thing, but it doesn't take away how hard this can be sometimes, mentally and emotionally. It's a lot of hurry up and wait. It's a lot of getting poked and prodded. You're getting blood work and ultrasounds every few days. But it's also this kind of like beautiful intersection of nature and science together. And I know this sounds weird, but it really is, especially with the cycle that we're doing a natural FET cycle, which means that we're using my body's natural rhythms and ovulation to determine when we're going to do an embryo transfer. So it's less medication, and it's not for everybody. It's, obviously you have to figure out what's best for you with your doctor. But this was the best route for me. And it kind of it feels like it's this, that I'm sitting at this intersection of, finding my body's natural rhythms and really getting in tune with my body and understanding it on a level that I haven't necessarily before. And also using science to help me move that process along, and to ultimately help me, help us get our dream of starting our own family together. So it's pretty wild. I mean, it's a lot. It can be really overwhelming, and your brain goes to some crazy places. On the one hand, you have the excitement and the thrill of what the outcome is ultimately going to be. At the end of all of this, hopefully, God willing, there's a pregnancy out of it, a healthy, viable pregnancy that leads to a beautiful baby in 9 or 10 months. But leading up to that, you get these moments of just, is my body doing what it's supposed to? Am I going to have to do this more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, sometimes more than 4 times? Am I going to have to go down roads that I didn't necessarily want to go down? Am I going to have to make decisions that I didn't want to have to make? And those are all very real things that we have to deal with, especially, going through something as emotional as IVF. It's really not as simple as just waking up and saying, I think I'll get pregnant today. As wonderful as that might be. It's not that easy. It's really not that easy. It's like a full-time job to have to manage all of these appointments and manage your medications and your supplements and go to acupuncture and do all of these things. And sometimes you just want to clear everything out of your brain and just say, give me a minute. Just give me a minute to breathe this in and to sit with it, and then to exhale the stress and get it out. And that's why I come here, like peace, tranquility, and like letting your body work through what it needs to, and trying to figure out how to work best with your body and science, but also just get me to the damn finish line. That's kind of what it is for me, at least. I'm sure it's for other people too, but anyway, yeah, it's a lot. I was on a drug called letrozole all last week, which helped stimulate ovulation to help kind of like trigger my body into starting the process on its own and to help my follicles develop. So on Monday, this past Monday, I went in for blood work and an ultrasound to check my levels, see how that was going. And the good news is things are progressing, but not quite as fast as we would like. So I go back in on Thursday to check the follicle development again. I'm hopeful that tomorrow we'll get good news. But this is all exhausting. You know, I've been doing the acupuncture thing every other day. On the days I'm not doing acupuncture, I'm going in for blood work and ultrasounds. And it's a lot. I mean, I'm really excited and grateful that we have this opportunity, that we're privileged enough to have this opportunity to start our family. I'm focusing a lot more on the fact that it is happening, and it may not be happening in the way that I imagined it would be happening, but it's still happening the way that I dreamed it would happen. And that dream was to start a family, and that's what I'm able to do with Ian. Sometimes you can't help but feel like you are living off the pages of a medical journal. And that can be hard. That can be really hard to do. Okay. Should we each turn one over?
We'll grab one. We each grab one.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm looking for.
You're looking, well, there's a symbol on it that says pregnant, not pregnant.
This one?
Both of them have it, right?
Oh, don't flip! We're not flipping, not flipping, not flipping, not flipping, not flipping, not flipping.
Okay.
Do I have to take this
No,
off?
you don't have to take it off. You just flip it. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Mine says pregnant. It's faint, but it's there.
Wait, what?
So, look. 2 lines is pregnant.
But it's faint.
That's okay. That's okay. It just means that there's not enough HCG to, like, pick up on it, but it...
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Am I being pumped right now?
You're not being pumped. It's faint, but there's a positive line. See that? You see it right in there? We're pregnant! So 9 days after my embryo transfer, we had a pregnancy test, which was Monday, and it came back positive. And 2 days later, I took a pregnancy test and it was negative, and had my blood drawn, and they said, yeah, your HCG levels dropped drastically. So I'm pretty devastated and feeling kind of just all the feels. It feels like the rug just got ripped out from under me. We went from the highest of highs, celebrating a positive pregnancy test 2 days ago, to all of a sudden just being at the lowest of lows. And it's exhausting. I mean, I'm so tired. Just thinking about having to be at the bottom of this hill again and having to climb all the way back up with not even a guarantee that we would get a positive again. So it's just a lot, and a lot to process. More to come, but for now I'm just gonna kind of grieve this and let it work through me and move on to the next day. But this is I think one of the most emotionally aggressive experiences I think I've ever had to go through. So, time for sleep and to take care of myself a little bit. Okay, so we are on cycle 2, day 12. I just left my doctor's office, had blood work done. My follicles look great, so we're just waiting to see if my blood work looks good for me to trigger. So crossing fingers that will trigger tonight. But surprisingly, this round has not been as stressful, I don't think. And I don't know if that's like a self-preservation thing, if I just kind of tried my damnedest to put it as much out of my mind as I could in the moments when I wasn't going for ultrasounds and blood work. But I've felt a lot more at ease with this one, I think because I knew what to expect this time around. And the waits didn't feel as, like the waits in between my appointments didn't feel as long. I don't know. I think having a little bit more relaxation throughout the whole process has kind of helped manage my expectations of it. Obviously I'm still hopeful that this next round will work, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much the way that I did last time, because I think getting my hopes up as high as I did for that first round kind of added to the devastation when it didn't work out. And it took a while to kind of come around to that. It took a while to kind of process everything that was happening and understand what my body needed to do in order to move on. But yeah, so feeling hopeful for this next round. If all goes well and I trigger today, then I'll probably transfer sometime next week, like next Tuesday or Wednesday. So yeah, we'll keep you posted, but never a dull moment in the IVF world, right? Also, not that there's any justification needed for this, but I just thought it would be helpful to talk through the emotions of why it felt so devastating to lose that first pregnancy. It was early on. It was maybe 5.5 weeks along. Most people at that point don't even know they're pregnant. So I've had one or two people have said to me, well, it was so early on, which by the way is incredibly insensitive, because losing any pregnancy is not easy. Any planned pregnancy or any pregnancy, it's hard. But we're not talking about feeling devastated because of the results of something that happened over the course of a few weeks. We're talking about wanting something for about, I don't know, I've wanted a kid since I was a kid. I've known that I wanted to be a mom for a really long time. And to have that dream be so close to me and then be ripped away very quickly, literally overnight, is heartbreaking. You go from getting excited about getting married, and then as soon as we hit that peak of excitement, then I'm diagnosed with cancer. So that puts the dreams of a family on hold for another 2 years. Okay, so then we hit that 2-year mark, and now we're at a place where we can start to try for a family. Great. And in your head, you think it's going to happen, and it's going to be easy, and it's going to be wonderful and joyful. And you get pregnant, and you're on such a high. The night that we took the test, we were just floating. We were so happy and overjoyed. And then 2 days later, for it to just not be there anymore was hard. Hard is an understatement. It was devastating to me, because I felt like I was at the bottom of a very big hill all over again. And I couldn't push the boulder back up for a minute. I needed a minute to rest, because I was just so tired. It's incredibly difficult to have to do. And no matter how close you are to your partner, or no matter how close I felt to my partner, to Ian, it doesn't change the fact that one of us is going through this, and one of us is experiencing this physically. And it can feel really isolating. So I triggered a few days ago, and since then I have started progesterone. I'm on day 3 of it, which means 3 days from now I will have my second transfer. Crossing fingers that this one will hang around. I feel a little bit more bloated this time around, but like not too different. Still can kind of go about my daily routine as normal. Yeah. So other than that, just going about my business. So this morning I had my beta HCG. And we're pregnant. It worked. So the beta HCG this morning was 2,828, which is so much higher than it was last time. So very excited about that. Sounds like it's a nice strong number. I go back again on Thursday just to get levels checked. And then we will have our very first scan next Friday. So we'll get to see baby's heart rate and hopefully see baby. But very excited. Can't wait to meet you.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Have you ever seen something cuter in your entire life?
Oh my god! It's wiggling!
It's wiggling. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Oh my gosh! Did you get that, babe?
I think so.
Here you go. I unfroze it for you.
Oh my god! That is so cool. So it is 1:15, I think it is. It's 1:15. And we are so close to meeting you. I've had an epidural and Mama feels so much better now. Contractions started around 1 o'clock in the morning. And they got really intense around 8. And then we called the doctor. She said, we'll check in a few hours. About an hour and a half later, you said, Mom, it's time to go. So we made our way to the hospital. So we're here now. And now we're just waiting to meet you. We love you.